What up? What up? She's a freaky young gal, a bisexual. Baby girl, take them trips back to Mexico. I just thought I would join you here again for a special live. I think I told people that I was going to start here at 8:30 p.m. and that's not how things ended up. It's 9:24. It's 9:24. So it's an hour after I said that I was going to start. I'm running on colored people's time. I'm running on West Indian time, Caribbean time here, if you guys know that stereotype. I'm running a little late here. But in all honesty, it's not because of any genetic predisposition to being late or anything of the sort. What it really boils down to is that I am a 34-year-old man who lives with his parents. So I can't do the show without ethnic interruption in the background. So I have to wait. That's just how it is. I'm a 34-year-old man who lives with a fat white cat who is sleeping and watching my every move. And this is just how it has to go, okay? You got to steal your moments. Some people are born into Hollywood. Some people are born into privilege. Me, I gotta dig a tunnel. I gotta dig an Israeli tunnel to my success, okay? Things weren't handed to me. I had to work for my success here. This is Larry Live, episode 1. By the way, I titled the previous one episode 0.5. I didn't really do that for any reason. I just thought it would be funny. Not even funny. I just thought it would be cool because I just liked how it sounded. Larry Live 0.5. In actuality, I have been doing lives for a very long time, so that's not even the first time I've done it. So there's many episode 1s and 2s and 3s, and I thought to myself, why don't I just make episodes with random numbers instead of every week or every episode? It's like in sequence. Why don't I just do it one week as like episode 2? Episode is 12. This episode is 37, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter, because if you're a fan, right? Even if you're a fan of a show, like a podcast show, the chances are you're not going to go back and listen or watch every single episode unless I happen to become some kind of marginal success in the future and Saturday Night Live decides to hire me. And that guy who went through all of Shane Gillis's podcast episodes looking for bad stuff, let's say he decides to watch every single episode of my thing. That's the only way someone would go through every single one of them, as if they were trying to find dirt on me. But I don't think I have anything to worry about. I don't think anyone is trying to hire me for SNL anytime soon. Lorne Michaels is probably going to die before I get hired by McDonald's even. I'm willing to bet that Lorne Michaels is going to die before I find gainful employment in any field, not just something unlikely like SNL. I'm talking about like bottom of the barrel, like McDonald's, janitorial services. And by the way, no disrespect to McDonald's workers there. When I said bottom of the barrel, I don't mean shade to McDonald's employees. I would do that job. Can't find anything in Marcus Carney's Canada. Things are very grim here. I thought I would do something funny. I wanted to read some of the jobs that are available right now. Okay, these are top picks. It's on LinkedIn. Top picks for you, and these are 100% real. Just to give you an idea of what I am going through, and people like me are going through. Okay, English writing generalist. The company is Aligner, a company I've never really heard about. Okay, and it says 10 to 40 hours a week. And it says, why join us? Work on cutting edge AI projects alongside leading research labs. Contribute to AI development that directly shapes how technology communicates with the world. Okay, so that's one job. Basically, you will be working for a company to you're an English writing generalist, meaning you're helping this company to work out the kinks in their AI. And I'm guessing when they get it figured out, there's no long-term stability there. They're just going to fire you, okay? Now listen to this other job. Voice-over artist. In brackets, it says female voice. $50 an hour, remote. Now, that's a joke because no job is paying $50 an hour. And it says, deliver high-quality voice performances in a natural U.S. or Canadian accent across various scripts. I'm not going to go through the whole and like the entire job posting here, but I just want to give you a bit of an idea of what it's like right now, because I don't think people are talking about these jobs. There's a lot of videos right now that are talking about how bad the economy is and how hard it is to find a job, but no one is talking about there are jobs here that are like you're working with AI companies, like tech companies, and basically you're helping them to train their AI, whatever it is, their AI thing. They're going to use your voice. They're going to use your likeness. You're going to, help their system work out kinks. And then as soon as they have it figured out, they're just going to kick you to the curb. They're just going to throw you to the trash like yesterday's garbage. So those are the jobs that are available to people right now. There's no like upward mobility. It's just stable. It's just flat, just straight up, just flat. And then here's how these websites will function. LinkedIn and other job boards is that through the vast wasteland of like terrible suggestions and jobs that are available, they'll have like one real job. So this one says senior writer, digital news, casual English services, hybrid for CBC, Radio Canada. So they'll have like one or two real jobs, but they're jobs that nobody is going to get. Now listen to this. This is a real job that was suggested to me, okay? Lithuanian voice actor, freelance AI trainer project. So that's what all these things are. I am not Lithuanian, and I'm not down to help an AI trainer project. That's what it is. That's what all these jobs are. You're helping companies to train their AI software or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not a tech person. As you can see from this show, it's very 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 low tech. I'm a very low tech individual. Look at this job. YouTube producer. That's what I'm doing right now. And the funny thing about it, you want to know something funny? Technically, I am a YouTube producer, right? I have a channel. This is what I'm doing right now, what I have been doing for years. Technically, you could argue that's what I do. I'm a YouTube producer. Now, I'm not saying my channel it's not Jerry Bruckheimer, Michael Bay, you know, explosive, amazing graphics here that are just blowing everyone out of the water. I'm not Kane Parsons. I don't have deals with, A24. I'm not getting back shots from um film the film intelligentsia here, okay? But I am a YouTube producer. Now here's the funny thing. If I were to apply to this job, right, that says YouTube producer, do you think that I would get it? No. 100% chance not. Even though, right? Even though I am highly skilled. Okay, maybe that's pushing it, but I've had this YouTube channel. If you check when my account, my YouTube account was like made, I'm pretty sure I started this account in like 2005 or 2006. You could check 2005 or 6. So I have been a YouTube producer for a very long time, right? So I'm pretty qualified for this job. Look at what you got to do. It says skills and qualifications, okay? 2 years plus experience as a producer, production manager, or project manager in a creative media or agency setting. So basically they want you to have had that role at a real place in the past. So I'm being a dick. Obviously, I wouldn't qualify because I have never was hired for that job in the past. But my issue with this that really annoys me is like even though I was never hired at a place to be a YouTube producer, the fact that I'm doing it alone, like isn't the fact that I'm doing it right now a sign that I could do it in an agency setting? Or does it matter that badly? You have to have someone that worked for we want someone that was a YouTube producer for BBC News. I got your BBC right here, bro. Brown. Not. It's not big either, though, so I'm lying. I'm lying about that. I lied. I'm a liar. I'm Pinocchio. That's one way to make it grow. I'm Pinocchio. Now listen to these perks of these made up jobs, okay? I'm just reading from LinkedIn here. Work from anywhere. Competitive healthcare coverage. Gifts, cash bonuses on birthdays, work anniversaries, and other work-related achievements. These are not real jobs, dude. These are all fake. You know what these job listings are like? They're like hot bitches on dating apps. They're not going to swipe back. They might not even be real. They might be dead. A lot of people on dating apps are just straight up dead. So you're just going through and you're just swiping through dead people who haven't signed on the app for many years, but they know that nobody likes you. So they're just showing you a sea of once alive faces. A smiling girl in the Netherlands that used to be alive. And now you're just looking at this picture and you're in your home and you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to swipe. I like her. But you don't know that she's dead. Or even worse, maybe she's married. She's already married. Worse than death, she's married to a 6'2" Dutch man named James Van Der Beek, Buick, Sluiken, Juiken, So she's long gone, and you're just sitting there like a goof, and you're swiping, and you don't even know that you're not swiping through real people. None of these are real individuals. That's how applying to jobs feels like now. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, look at this. This is another job I'm about to read for you. Okay, training content writer. Again, with the AI training. And listen to what you have to do here, okay? This just makes me so upset. Not even upset, but just like I try not to get emotionally invested in this hellish system that we have created for ourselves. So I don't want to say upset. Upset. Like obsessed. I'm upset. That's someone that is obsessed with being upset. No, I don't want to say upset. I just want to say it just makes me frustrated. That, I did everything I had to do. I went to school. I'm a smart guy. I read all of Proust. I've read all of Dostoevsky, good old Dusty. I've read War and Peace. I went to school. I'm a very capable individual. Okay. And these are the jobs that are available to me. Training content writer. Now listen to what you got to do. You have to help train their you basically have to tickle their balls, make their bed. You got to be their little maid, their little bitch boy. And then they'll just fire you, basically. You have no leverage. You're going to be training their AI. Again, look at all these jobs. Technical writer / trainer. So you're just training. You're being used. It's sick. It's a sickening system that we live in. It's a sick society. And I don't know what to tell you. It's disgusting to me. The fact that people can be so open about this, You're a trainer for our AI. We'll give you dental and all these benefits for 1 month. And then when you're done the job, we're just going to kick you to the curb. We're going to put you in a recycling bin right next to the food garbage, eggshells, coffee grounds, and my baby's diaper. That's where you belong. That's where we're putting you because you're an AI trainer. We have the technology. We just need people to train it first. And that's where you come in. Your job is that we're going to suck your talent and your blood like the tech vampires that we are. And then once we're done with you, we've figured out a way where we can make the machine use your talent as fuel for the rest of its days. And we don't have to keep replenishing the fuel. It's just going to use your talent indefinitely forever because you're training our AI for 1 week. The job is 1 week. So if you want the medical and the dental benefits, you better use it from Sunday to Saturday at some point because you're just going to be employed for a week. And then here's the best part. After the Saturday, your last day at work, we're just going to continue to use your talent that we built off of the backs of you, which are just training our AI systems. And we're just going to keep making money off of you. You worked for us for 1 week as an AI trainer. And that's all we needed you for. That's all we needed you for because you're nothing to us. We're tech billionaires and we can get away with it. We're just gonna continue to keep pushing this technology. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? The AI systems. The AI systems. So that's where I'm at. That's how things are right now. I just wanted to I wanted to follow up. I think I said I was depressed, or the situation was very depressing the other day, but I wanted to follow it up with more of a jovial response because I don't want people to worry. Don't worry about your Uncle Larry here, okay? I'm not depressed in the sense of like, oh, I have an inability to go on. I'm so worried about what's going to happen. I am worried, but at the same time, we all die at the end of the day, and I'm looking forward to it. To be honest with you, whenever I feel really bad about how things have worked out for me, I always just smile and I think to myself, you're going to die one day. So don't sweat any of these things that are bothering you. You're going to die. And none of this, I don't even want to say none of it matters, because that's a cop out. It certainly matters to me right now in the moment. But I often think about my grandfather on his deathbed. I'm sure I've told this story before already, but one of the things that he said on his deathbed that I will never forget. This was in 2020. He had the big casino. He had the C word. He was dying of cancer in his last couple of days, but was um he was on his way out right as COVID was ramping up. And it was almost like his body, or like his system, was just sort of just like, I can't really take the bullshit of this world anymore. I'm just going to leave it to you guys. I don't really want to stick around to see what's going on with the COVID hoax, with the hoax virus. I love how right-wing people and conspiracy people often talk about the hoax virus. It wasn't a hoax. I mean, it was real, but it just wasn't that bad. It was only affecting the elderly. But anyway, something that he said that it will always stay with me was that he like we were around him on his deathbed. I swear to you, this is not me making stuff up for the case of YouTube. I'm sure if I was making something up, I could come up with something better. But he said this. He goes, "Life is nothing." Like, it was almost like he was talking to himself. Like, he just looked in the distance and he was like, "Life is nothing." And I will never forget that. So now whenever I apply to jobs, or bitches don't like you here, you don't get a job there, I always think about that. Life is nothing. I don't mean that in a nihilistic way, but it's kind of true. Like, what am I getting so stressed out about? Now I don't want to excuse the behavior of the politicians and the tech billionaires and where we are. I mean, a lot of people are at fault for all of this, and I'm not excusing that. But at the same time, I'm not really invested in the system like I was in 2019, for example. I think it all ended. For me, my hope in the system ended at about 2020 to 2021. I think I mentioned on the previous episode, the previous episode, 0.5, I mentioned that I flirted with communism. And I think that was my last big moment of like hope for humanity, and like in being invested in the system. Now I really don't care. I just want enough money to be able to buy a burger at the burger place, enough to feed my cat. He's here, he's just sleeping on the ground here. Enough money to go see a movie. And even that, I'm starting to get very sick of the goy slop. The goy slop in the world. I'm very sick of it. And the culture and the media that is available to me, I really don't care. Like, I just want money. I just want enough money to be able to buy food and keep the electricity on. Just the basic things. I don't really, if you asked me, like in 2019, what do you want money for? I would have been like, "Oh, well, I want to own the presidential Rolex that Tony Soprano wears on The Sopranos. I have a whole bunch of movie posters that I would like to collect. I would like to go to Bora Bora. I mean, I would like to travel. Money to travel would be nice. But there was just a lot of shit. There's pure shit because I was in my late 20s and I was an idiot. And I thought, oh, things are going to work out for you. But now I'm just not as invested in the system. So, yeah, I just wanted to clear the air. Don't worry, I'm not depressed. Your Uncle Larry would never fall into depression. That's what the tech billionaires and the politicians want you to do. I think there is a push. That's my conspiracy theory. Tinfoil hat shit right here, okay? There's a push for people to get more and more hopeless so that you have to rely on the governments of the world and just this perpetuating thing of I'm just going to buy stuff to make myself happy. Oh, the government's giving me this job now, or there's like a new opportunity open. I'm just going to continue to be invested in the system. Really, all I just want is just money to exist outside of the system. That's all I want at this point. Um, I was going to talk about some. Oh yeah, goy slop. I mentioned that. Here's an example of how little I care about the world now, okay? So in 2019, I started watching Euphoria. Now, I don't know if any people watching this have seen Euphoria, but this is just an example of how much things have changed for me, okay? So I started watching the show in 2019. And then in 20 whatever the second season was, I watched that one as well, right? And I thought, okay, sure, it's okay. Now I'm watching this season. So much time has passed. Like, so much time has elapsed since the second season and now, right? Now I'm watching this show. I'm just like, who is this for anymore? Why can you guys just end this show? Every week. And this is what I mean by goy slop. This is what people, I know some people will say it's anti-Semitic or whatever, but this is what that group of individuals online, what they mean by goy slop, okay? Every week, it's just there's sex, drugs. We're just gonna give African American people guns. We're just gonna have this character use the N bomb multiple times. There's nothing for your soul, There's and it's not just Euphoria. And anywhere you look now, it's just constant it's just trash, bro. You're feeding your mind trash. So I started watching the show in 2019. And now this is like 6-7 years later. 6-7 like almost, if you round up, almost a decade later, right? I'm watching the show now. I'm like, I really don't care. I just want to be done with this show. I was watching this video. This guy Dr. K. He was talking about recently about how if you are watching a show and you find yourself, like, let's say you're on episode 8. Let's say you're on episode you're late into the season, right? And you're watching it and you find yourself scrolling on your phone instead of watching it, or you're just like bored. That he was like, that's a sign that, like, you should just basically give yourself permission to not watch it anymore and do something else because you're not charging your battery. You think that you're relaxing by doing that, but that's actually making things worse because you're just like, your brain has to focus on the stupid show that you don't care anymore about. And you're scrolling and you're going back and forth. So that's where I'm at with not just Euphoria, but like most things. I tried watching there's another show like this. Recently this happened. Tokyo Vice. I watched all of season 1 and then I watched some of season 2 and then halfway through season 2 I watched that Dr. K video and I was like, this guy is right. He's onto something. Why am I punishing myself by watching this goy slop? Why feed myself the goy slop when I can instead focus on, like I was, you know what I was saying in the previous episode, the two things, Prat Yahara and Wu Wei. That's what I think I spoke about this a little bit, but I didn't really get into it too much. But basically, there's a phenomenon that a lot of people are talking about these days. It's called Retardmaxxing. There's a YouTuber by the name of Elisha on here. He's like a famous YouTuber at this point, and he has basically popularized this term, retardmaxing. Now recently I saw this video where these tech billionaire guys, like these rich CEO guys, were just like, they were like bigging Elisha up. Like they were like, this guy makes great videos. He goes out on his porch and he has a cigar and he just talks to the camera for like an hour. And these are great videos. I love it. Everyone should just do retardmaxing. I'm very big on that. But for me, this is what I was trying to say in the previous video, and I think I bungled it. I didn't really address I didn't really get to what I was talking about properly, but I don't think retardmaxing is a great way to look at it. I think people should be more specific with their language and their intentions, cuz the phrasing of that that slang basically is saying like, in a sense, it's kind of like saying like you are maximizing your stupidity. And the fact that these tech billionaire guys are like giving that a stamp of approval is a sign that something's wrong and you shouldn't do what they say. Because like it's very anti-intellectual to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna tard max. I'm gonna do the stupidest thing. I'm just gonna do this, that. Now that being said, I do not disagree with Elisha. I think he's a good YouTuber. But for me personally, what I think is like, what it's getting at for me is Wu Wei. And I have this page up that I wanted to read because last time I didn't really explain what it is. So it's like, it's a foundational Taoist concept that translates to effortless action or actionless action. It does not mean complete passivity or doing nothing. Instead, it describes a state of being in harmony with the natural flow of the universe, acting without force, ego, or struggle. So it's effortless action or actionless action. You know what I did today? This is what I mean by Wu Wei, okay? Now, some people might interpret this as retardmaxing, and they might say it's the exact same thing, but there's a difference, okay? Now, you know what I did today? I had a Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar, okay? Now, I've told you on this channel that I've cut out. My diet is cutting out all the sugars. I've cut out, not all the sugars, sorry. I've cut out a significant portion of my sugars. So I don't allow myself to go over 35 grams of sugars in a day, because I read that somewhere that the liver can't process any more than that in a day. But you know what I did today? I had a Haagen-Dazs bar. Because the weather where I live, it's so warm. It got super hot today. And I was just in the mood. The mood struck me to have an ice cream bar. Okay? Now that's what I mean by Wu Wei. I did not go over the 35 grams of sugars. I read the thing on the box. It said like 17 grams, which isn't good. That's not good for you. Any amount of sugar in the liver is not good. Let's face it. It's junk. But Wu Wei, I'm not a bodybuilder. First of all, I'm not a bodybuilder. It's hot. Life is bad. And just Wu Wei, bro. Wu Wei. Plus, it's really fun to say. Wu Wei, dog. Wu Wei, my guy. Everyone say it with me. To my 2 viewers. No one's watching. I don't even think anyone's watching. But to anyone watching this, say it with me right now. If you've gotten this far. Let me see how long this was. 37 minutes almost. Everyone say this together, okay? Wu Wei. That's what it's all about, bro. It's like going with the flow, okay? One of the reasons why I am doing this diet is because sugar is not good for, I don't even know if you could see it on the camera there. It's not good for the skin in terms of firmness and like moisture. So that's one of my reasons for going on the diet. The cutting out sugar diet is to have better skin in the summer, because I suffer from dry skin, right? But as I was about to have this ice cream bar thing, I was thinking to myself, and I was like, bro, it doesn't really matter if your skin looks like shit or if it's amazing. You're still going to get the same amount of bitches. You're going to be the same height. You know, like, you're not going to change your life if your skin looks amazing. Like, I want the ice cream bar now, okay? It was just a go with the flow decision. So I just decided to do it. And that's what I did. I just thought to myself, am I really improving my life that much if I cut out all sugars and I punish myself today? Is my life going to improve that much? So I had the ice cream bar, and I enjoyed it. Sue me, bro. What are you going to do? I went with the flow, and that's what the spirit told me to do. That's what the natural flow of the universe told me to do. I don't know how to describe it to you. If you're one with the universe, you'll know. Today I was one with the universe, because to me it's like the sugar in my gut, like the bacteria in my gut, wasn't making the decision for me. It was really me making the conscious effort to be like, not effort, decision. I was like thinking to myself, should you do it or should you just not? Like, do you want to? And I was like, yeah, sure. You know? A lot of people, they don't have that kind of discipline. They would just be like, if they have the ice cream bar, pretty soon the next day they're gonna have it just increases. They're gonna have 2 ice cream bars, a thing of chocolate here, jam on toast, you know, and it's just gonna ramp up. But for me, I could feel the natural flow of the universe. It was speaking to me. in a way that I could not ignore. And that's what I have against the idea of retard maxing. When people talk about retard maxing, they make it seem like I'm just gonna do the dumbest things. I'm just gonna my friend invited me out to go drinking, so let's just go drink alcohol. Let's just go crazy, guys. Let's just worry about tomorrow when it happens. I don't care. No. You have to there's a natural order to things, okay? And I don't mean to sound like, you know, I don't mean to be like retard maxing is anti-intellectual and come across as like, Bill Hicks used to say there's an anti-intellectual thing that's happening in this country lately. And guys like him and David Cross, they're always known for being like intellectual smart guys. I don't particularly see myself as like I don't think being intellectual is not that good of a thing. And in fact, I don't even like David Cross. I don't think he's that good. I think he's full of shit. I think he's pretentious and annoying. And here's what I mean. Here's a good example. By his logic, right? His intellectualism, he would not go. He would not only not go to do the Saudi Arabia the comedy festival because he sees it as like immoral, but tons of other comedians would go and they don't have a problem with it because they're going with the flow. Now, that doesn't mean that those other people are hypocrites or they're like, they're anti-intellectual or retard maxing. It's about going with the flow. I don't know how to describe it to you in any other way, bro. It's when things are right, they will make themselves clear. If somebody offered me like $1 billion to go do a comedy show, knowing my history, I've worked as, I've worked at a dollar store, I've worked for minimum wage. Hell yeah, I'm going to go do that job, bro. And David Cross sitting on his high horse, who, he got paid millions of dollars to be in shitty Alvin and the Chipmunks movies. He has the tenacity. He has the audacity. I said tenacity. See, I'm not an intellectual, okay? I'm your friend. I'm saying all this stuff to you as your friend. He has the balls to tell other people, oh, that's immoral. You can't do it. See, that's what I mean about the rigidity of like the extremes. There's retard maxing and intellectualism. I don't think people should be at either extreme. It should be woo way. Go with the flow, bro. Go with the flow, bro. Did you hear that? Go with the flow, bro. I'm messing up the green screen action. Go with the flow, bro. Go with the flow, bro. That's really all it's about. Make choices and decisions in your life according to how you feel, without ego. Listen to what this says: without force, ego, or struggle. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Being in the zone. Effortless effectiveness. Now, when a guy like David Cross writes a long ass essay and talks about how you don't take the Saudi Arabian oil money, don't do this, don't do that. He sounds like a guy that is like he's thou doth protest too much. Do you know what I mean? 0% of money is like moral. Okay? Just make the money, dude. Doesn't matter. Now, I'm not saying be a bad person. If the spirit tells you not to do something, then just don't do it. But that doesn't mean that, you know. All right. I think I've belabored the point here. I've talked about what I had to talk about here today. Thank you for the people that have joined. I don't think anyone watched. I'm seeing there's some likes there. I appreciate that. You guys are always very supportive with the likes. I appreciate that. So that's where I'm at. I taught, the job situation, same thing. Canada sucks. It really hurts because we live in a land where we have all these freshwater resources. We have all these amazing things that are happening. And still, we can't figure out how to employ the nation of people that are unemployed. And I've lived in this country my entire life, and yet people that have just been here for like 2 seconds are getting infinite opportunities than me. I read an article. You know what? Maybe I'll close with this. This is a real article I read recently, okay? I don't even want to name names, or I'm too lazy to pull up the article and link it or whatever, but this is a real article I read. This woman, I can't remember the exact location in Africa that she's from. She has been living in hotels in Canada for years now, off the Canadian taxpayer dollars. Now think about this. If you are a Canadian citizen and you are homeless, you don't get any of those opportunities, right? This woman applied for like refugee status or something. I don't even know how it works. Again, I'm telling you, this is anti-intellectual stuff here. This is Wu Wei. I'm just going with the flow of the story. Zero pretense or pretension involved here. I'm just telling you what I saw, what I read, my understanding of it. There was something bad that happened in her home country, or so she says. She used to work there, but she moved to Canada, and for some reason she can't work anymore because she has pain. And she applied for something. I don't know how it works, but anyway, that's the system that we live in. She's been living in hotel rooms for over a year now, and the Canadian taxpayer is paying for all of this. But again, that's what it's like. If you're a Canadian citizen and you're homeless, just find a tent and we'll kick you out of it when we feel like it. If you're Canadian and you're homeless, you are not going to get a hotel. You're going to get, maybe they'll set up a center for you and it's going to have cockroaches, and you're not going to be living in luxury. This woman was living in a hotel. Like, think about that for a second. She can't work. She has, physical pain. So they gave her a hotel? Like, if she can't work, doesn't that mean that anything would be luxurious to her? But that's the system we live in. Now, I'm not blaming her, because clearly she found out that Canada is flawed and we have loopholes, and she figured out a way of legally exploiting this loophole. Forget it. Talk to you some other time.